In the musical metaphor, lyrics are not the same as music, and so language is not the same as consciousness. So you weigh down very heavily in the article on kind of admitting animals into the consciousness club and kind of turning down language, which some people argue is very much what sets humans apart, and then maybe is what makes us conscious rather than animals. So do you think it came from this idea that if we want to exclude AI, which is this thing that is very good at language but doesn't have those physical characteristics, is this an idea of how we can redefine consciousness?
Yeah, I mean, I guess probably in my musical definition, none of those systems are going to meet the requirement for consciousness because, yeah, it's going to be much more based on sort of physiological rhythms and variance and also like, what are the minimum resources you need to produce the maximum thing? Originally, I was a biochemist. So biochemists are like the economists of the science world, right? It's like, how much can you do for how little energy? And so you're like, living things are so interesting to me, where you're like a handful of Skittles and I can like solve all these math problems, right? Like I just need coffee.
Yeah.
And like, whereas you're just like, yeah, sure, if you need to like drain the entire Colorado River and like start a nuclear power plant, I don't actually think that's impressive. I think it's really cool that you can do this on the fly. Well, and I guess that's part of what's so interesting about those folks' brains, right? Is it's like, if you could get all of that cognitive performance out of just this, like, good job, you. I don't think we should be making fun of these folks. Like,
yeah, how amazing a structure that with a like tiny amount of brain mass that you can achieve all that. Perhaps this alternative definition of consciousness, built up from physiological rhythms, can help separate man from machine. Or maybe consciousness shouldn't be our main concern when it comes to AI. Are you worried about the effect that these systems will have on our brains and the brains of people who develop while using all this technology?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think that one of the things that people have forgotten, and a lot of my neuroscientific colleagues this would also be true, is the nervous system is also neck down, right? Like, this part is great, don't get me wrong, I love it. But like, this part also is involved. Your conscious mind is for problems that you haven't solved yet. But every time you solve a problem neurologically, you move the solution to a different part of your nervous system, right? So like, once you know how to ride a bike, you don't have to think about it because the knowledge lives in the basal ganglia, right? You know, the knowledge of how to breathe and beat your heart is not conscious. And so I think that's also like, if you spend all of your time, you know, kind of in your conscious mind, you're spending all of your time with your failures, right? By definition. Like, this is all of the stuff on your to-do list that you haven't done. And so you have to spend time with the activities where you're like, you did already like learn to walk and learn to ride a bike. And if you're only consuming music or you're only consuming art, then your nervous system has no opportunity to do what it likes to do, which is to experiment with, you know, with music, with sports, with painting, you have to physically implement it. And you're just walking around, you're testing your hypothesis of where the ground is. And every time you step, you're like, good job, me. You're like, I got that. Like, you do it your 1,000 steps, and every single time you got that math problem correct. So yeah, so I think that the more you're divorcing people from their kind of physical interactions with their environment, the more crazy you will drive people, just because your nervous system that's what it's interested in doing, is kind of confirming these physical hypotheses about the world. And if you're starving it for things to do, then, you know, yeah, you put it in like solitary confinement. So of course it's going to go a little crazy. So yeah, I do think that it is a recipe for insanity if you don't let yourself do these things. And I mean, I guess that's why I'm sort of naively hopeful that one of the things that you know is emerging and could emerge more with the AI conversation is, like, I understand that we're outsourcing the creation of music and art to these things, but that's assuming that art and music are just things to be consumed, right? And that the whole point of some of these activities are like, no, they are actually things that you do, right? Because the process of doing them is the thing, right? Not the product at the end. And so of necessity, you have to make a product that you can sell because you live in a capitalist system that has required it of you. But that wasn't the point of it, right? Like, if money was no object, you would do it because it creates meaning.
To end my conversation with Bridget, I wanted to ask her more broadly about how music should be treated within the scientific community.
I do sort of think that, modern scientists don't realize that obviously there are certain things that we have that are so amazing and we are in sort of a golden age. But there are other things where you're like, no, this really is a dark age of science because you've kicked all of the arts and humanities out. And that's a fairly recent development where you just ripped the heart and soul out of the scientific enterprise. And so, like, it's going to lead to evil, but also just like, it's not going to be fun. Like, just like, it can't be fun. It has to be like, it's not a human enterprise. It's a creative profession, right? It's just like wondering about the world and experimenting with the world and drawing pictures of the world and describing it in numbers. I mean, it's supposed to be an art form. And that's why I like kind of using Planck or Newton to just be like, okay, these are people that you respect, and like, they didn't look down on arts and humanities,
Today we've explored the mysteries of consciousness through the lens of music. We've seen how thinking about consciousness as the music of the mind not only helps us understand these cases where the brain structure is radically different from the norm, but also helps inspire new definitions of consciousness that bring us closer to our animal friends and further from AI. The beauty of music is an emergent property that cannot be easily explained by its components. Maybe consciousness is the same, a beautiful emergent property that can't be explained by physical measurements. Perhaps there is still a lot we could learn from musicians.
People with dementia, like, they've forgotten everything else, right? Like, they've forgotten their partner, they've forgotten their kids, they've forgotten their names. But, when you see the footage of pianists kind of coming back to life and performing, or ballet dancers, I mean, that to me is just like, if that's the last thing to go, then it's probably the first thing that you build.
Thank you for watching Ideas for Our Time, and stay tuned.